Hello and welcome to another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. I am the player who plays as the Witch King under the mountain, and today I'm going to talk about something quite exciting, which I hadn't really got an intention of doing anything today, but this was kind of one of those rare situations where I kind of felt I had to post something. So it's not all my own work, I appreciate that. It was actually from a Fellowship member, Lord Duck, who has a pretty good gill, but I'm going to talk about the fact that perhaps Siege Gill isn't just for Siege after all. And let's just talk through what it is. So it led me to start doing some testing. And as you can see here, Gill's done 52k of damage. It's nothing too bad. That's with Guardians. And with Swan Knights, he's done 61k of damage. Now, the key to this, as you can see from my gear, it's not amazing, is the Alliance Leader skill. Now, I don't know if this has been modified or if it's been changed, but the level 5 skill now seriously stacks up. So the effect is modified by the unit's attack stat there. In this case, it's 162 plus the 20 for the set effect. Realistically, the damage output from it is pretty outrageous. So if we have a look at this and how it scales, so round 1. My Swan Knights are having 56.4% damage out added to it, and then 15% damage received minus debuff as well. That's from the level 10 skill. Just show you that again. So the next instance of damage taken by the commander's formation is minus 15%. That's some serious troop buffing. Now, I get troops don't really normally do that level of damage, but when you've got this level of attack and the fact that Swan Knights survive pretty well, it actually leads to the fact that they can do some quite significant damage. Like I say, I am going to keep this brief, but I then started playing around with it, like I say, and I tried to use Guardians, which did okay really, considering they're not a chief principal unit for doing damage. But then I got onto these guys, and I'd hate to think what kind of damage you can potentially do by running this sort of situation and this Alliance Leader tree with some really high attack gear which has got a little bit of defense attached to it. Obviously these guys get protected by another unit anyway, so again, if we just have a look in this report, you're actually doubling it up. So here's the Shire protectors. So they get 51.3% damage there, plus they get 50% from unexpected threat. That's each time they get hit. Now I get this part of it isn't really effective for them unless the unit you're doing actually dies. But to be fair with Shires, it could do a serious amount of damage. Now I know people have been saying that you can't get troop damage out in PvP. This is against mobs. And like I say, thanks to Lord Duck for allowing me to share this report, but this is from this morning. Now, Gill's done 235,000 damage there. Now this guy here is no slouch with his gear. So as you can see there, he's got a really good Sauron. Got a really good Undying. Really impressive alerts. And a really, really good Sestaro. To be fair, Lord Duck's gear is also pretty good. Sorry, just click across. That's Gandalf for white. This is King of Men. And then this is the important one. So he's got a great mix. Don't get me wrong, it's a high respect guild, but he's got a great mix of attack and defense gear, as you can see there. So, and the key to what he's trying to do here, particularly these swans, 177 attack, 187 defense. So it's probably one of the only units that you can actually have whereby it's actually surviving long enough for the troop damage to be important. I've got to say, I find this really exciting as an import. Now, I would love to see this with a Shire Protector in there, with say 2 units of elves, and maybe, I don't know, some kind of tank with cataphracts, or even maybe the swans on another commander, because they could do some serious damage. But just something to play around with. Let me know your thoughts on it. because, you know, it's just an odd report, but I think as well, to be fair to him, there was a couple more. This was earlier in the day, Gil doing 180k damage against the same guy. So as we start to learn more about the game, it looks like we can start doing things with, potentially with troop damage. But the Swan Knight is kind of a niche example. I'd love to see it on some other ones. So please, if you've got a high respect Gil, please test it out, see how you feel, leave some comments, just to sort of show you again the key skill. Is this Alliance Leader skill, whereby it's this 20% damage is increased by the attack stat, so you want a nice high attack stat on your commander, and then your next instance damage is minus 15%, so you could probably get away with, in fairness, you could run that a little bit lower, I guess, with kind of like a hybrid Gil build, because really it's the modifier that's important rather than just the flat 20. What I will say is I did try and run Gil as a damage dealer, and that didn't go so well, to be perfectly honest. I think it's this report here, whereby even with the Shire Protectors, running him with his Icicle Tree, the problem is you need attack gear for it to work, not necessarily commander attack. So when you look at this, Gil himself only did 9k damage, so probably not worth doing it that way, but definitely the troop damage is impressive. Bear in mind, Swan Knights are accessible to everything, but you could get some crazy damage, I think, with Shire Protectives. Just worth thinking about. Like I said, I just wanted to make it brief. Thanks for your interest. All comments are welcome, and if in doubt, always follow your nose.